A warm welcome to everyone and Namaste. So Vedic scripture is filled with wisdom. Wisdom about relationship, management, leadership, art of parenting, education, arts and so on. It is filled with wisdom and pearls of wisdom. So this is our humble attempt to bring those pearls of wisdom to all of you. And today we'll begin with relationship lessons from Ramayana. Invite and welcome all of you to this journey. So we will begin about discussing relationship lessons from Ramayana. Many times you might have encountered situations where people say, I don't believe in Ram, I don't believe in Ramayana. So why should I hear or read about Ramayana? We should never accept anything blindly. It is a very good argument, but we have a counter argument to that. Yes, it is 100% true that we should not accept anything blindly. At the same time, we should not reject anything blindly also. So my humble request to all of you is, yes, even if you don't believe Ram, even if you don't believe Ramayana, Mahabharata, it is okay. At least read this literature as a storybook or as a novel, and please do not miss the pearls of wisdom available in this beautiful and amazing literature that is Ramayana. So now let us explore what is there inside Ramayana and try to learn something from this great literature. So today we will begin relationships and relationship lessons from Ramayana. So before I begin, let me give you a brief introduction about Ramayana. So Ramayana has 7 kandas, all of us we are aware about it, and there is Balakanda, Ayodhya Kanda, Aranya Kanda, Kishkinda Kanda, Sundara Kanda, Yuddha Kanda and Uttara Kanda. Now, scriptures can be categorized into different levels. How? So, scriptures can be categorized under 4 categories. In the first category, we call it as it is Kavya. So, what is Kavya? Kavya is a literature which is filled with emotions, filled with Nava Rasas. So, whenever you read Kavya, you cry, you laugh and you feel different varieties of emotions, and that is Kavya, filled with emotions and Nava Rasas. And there is Shastra, and Shastra are like Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads. And what are the examples for Kavya? It is Kalidasa's authored Abhignana Shakuntala, Nala Damayanti. And when we talk about Shastra, what is Shastra? It is pure philosophy. Pure philosophy explained with logic. And for your information, I would like to tell you that Shastras are basically for intellectuals who are very logical people. And in this creation, we can say 5% of the people are very intellectual. And they are not eager to have any emotions in their life. Rather, they want everything to be understood in a very logical way. So, Shastras are meant for them. It is just like in science we say E is equal to mc square. And people who are scientists, they feel ecstatic whenever they see this formula. But people, even though they are intellectuals, but they can't just understand or enjoy Shastras because it is pure philosophy and pure logic. So then the third category of scriptures is Shastra Kavya. What is Shastra Kavya? Shastra Kavya means Shastra is prominent, but the same Shastra is given in the format of Kavya. So I can give you example as Puranas, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. So here the philosophy or Shastra is given, but in the form of poetry or Kavya, filled with emotions. So then it becomes easy for people to understand the Shastra or philosophy. Then the fourth category is Kavya Shastra. Here Kavya is predominant and Shastra is explained using Kavya. And in that, the famous is Ramayana. And Ramayana is not just a Kavya Shastra, it is known as Mahakavya. And today we are going to discuss from this great Kavya, great poetry or Mahakavya. Now, Valmiki himself says in the Ramayana that Vedas pratechasadasit sakshat Ramayanatmanaha, meaning when Lord Ram came to this earth, then Vedas came as Ramayana. So meaning the essence of all the Vedic scriptures are there in Ramayana. That is the beauty and uniqueness of Ramayana. In simple terms, I can say Shastra is for intellect and Kavya is for heart. Because when someone reads Kavya, it becomes very easy, it becomes soothing for them to understand and go deeper in the Kavya, the scriptures, and the scriptures, the Kavya also explains Shastra in a very emotional way. So that is one of the purpose of Lord's incarnation. Why God has to take so many incarnations in this world? So that He gives the philosophy. What is philosophy? It is a truth. It is the absolute truth, the purpose of life. It answers questions like, where was I before my birth? And what is the purpose of this life? What will happen after I die? And the purpose of life. These things are explained in Vedas, Upanishads, in the Shastra, but the same philosophy, when it is given with adding rasa or emotions in that, then it becomes Kavya. So I'll repeat, this is a very important point. Shastra is for intellect and Kavya is for heart. Now, there are three levels of understanding scriptures. So we can understand scriptures in three levels. Number one, historical. So, what is historical? Historical means, yes, Ramayana, Mahabharata, all these itihasas and the story of God's presence on this earth did happen at one particular point in time and one particular place. This is history. So, we can understand scriptures as a history, historical, and second as philosophical. So, because scriptures gives us the truth, it explains the absolute truth. We can also understand philosophy through these scriptures. And third, we can understand as psychological. So what is psychological? Meaning it is human psychology. So when we read scriptures, like for example Ramayana, there are so many things we can understand from Ramayana. How to deal with parents, how to deal with wife, how to deal with husband, how to take care of children, art of parenting, financial management. So all aspects of life needs a person's psychology, because whatever we do, it affects our psychology. When there are two people fight, how a person responds to that situation depends on one's psychological capability. So in our discussion, in our journey, that is learning life lessons, lifestyle management lessons from Vedic scriptures, we will be discussing the historical level, the philosophical and also psychological part of Vedic scriptures. But we will be focusing more on psychological aspect. Now, a quiz questions to all of you. So I'll ask questions and you can think about the answer. So first question, there are famous brothers in Ramayana. So the first question, who are famous two brothers? Think about it. Who are famous three brothers in Ramayana? Think about it. Who are famous four brothers in Ramayana? I hope all of you got the right answer. So let us see what is the right answer. Who are famous two brothers? They are Vali and Sugriva. And all of us know Vali and Sugriva were living in Kishkinda. And who are famous three brothers? That is Ravana, Kumbhakarna and Vibhishana. And all of us know that Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana, they all actually were like demoniac. Among these brothers, Vibhishana was not demoniac. He was a devotee of Lord Ram. He always wanted to travel in the path of Dharma. But Ravana and Kumbhakarna always took the path of Adharma. that we clearly see when we hear the entire story of Ramayana. Now, who are famous four brothers? Yes, it is our favorite Ram, Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrughna. And these four brothers are the children of Dasharatha, the emperor of Ayodhya. We will see more details after the break.